Um. So, the the game that I'm playing tonight is called Healer by Tamsin Bloom. Uh, and it's just a one-page game. So I'm gonna start. Well, I'm not gonna read like the entire thing, but I'll just read the first section, and we'll start from there. Um. Uh, so this is like a journaling game. So I'll be making up little journal entries, and I'll probably ask you guys for a little bit of help in trying to come up with ideas, so that one to distribute the stress, and two to hopefully get you guys invested in these characters that we're going to make. Uh, you are a healer. Your abilities allow you to soothe the pain of others and render their wounds harmless. This makes you both a precious ally and valuable asset to those you travel with. You have no permanent group, instead being hired by different groups for a few missions at a time. This game will ask you to draw cards in response to a prompt. When you are asked to narrate, add an entry to your journal to answer the question, using the cards drawn as inspiration. Pull from the card's prescribed meaning as well as the images and details on the card itself. So first we're going to draw 2 tarot cards. The first signifies the environment of your world. The second the second signifies its people. So let's draw 2 cards. Temperance and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so the first card signifies the environment. So Temperance. There's the image of an angel, and I'm going to pull up a thing to help interpret the cards. Temperance. Okay. So Temperance represents temperance, balance, health, combination. Actions: being temperate, finding the middle ground, showing moderation, avoiding excess, mitigating a harsh position, looking to the golden mean, reaching a compromise, offsetting an extreme. Maintaining balance, experiencing harmony, achieving equilibrium, bringing together opposites, recognizing all sides, fostering cooperation, feeling centered and secure, experiencing health, renewing energy and vigor, healing, enjoying well-being, recovering, flourishing, combining forces, gathering together what is needed, joining with others, consolidating, finding the right mix, creating synthesis, and getting it all together. Oh, okay, and there's a little description at the bottom too. There are certain people who exude a kind of quiet composure. They may not say much, but they go about their business with an air of calm deliberation. Their presence is comforting because they are so centered. For me, this is the energy of temperance. To be temperate is to show moderation and self-restraint. In a world full of enticing indulgences, it is often necessary to find the middle ground. Sensible, maybe, but also a bit boring. The energy of temperance may seem unexciting on the surface, but it is the calm of a hurricane's eye. All around are swirling winds, but in the center is a still point that brings everything into balance. In readings, temperance can represent a need for moderation, especially when extreme cards are present, such as the Knights. This card can also indicate a need for balance. In conflict situations, temperance suggests that compromise and cooperation are vital. Look for any opportunity to bring opposing parties together. In fact, to temper can mean to modify by adding a new component. By combining or recombining, we come up with the ideal mixture or solution. Temperance is the card of good health in all areas, physical, mental, and emotional. When illness or disease is a concern, temperance holds out the promise of vitality and well-being. So, and so on the card we have an angel standing by the side of a river, pouring water between two chalices. There's a field of reeds, and there's this, which I'm guessing is like an emanation of God. So the first this first card, Temperance, is going to signify the environment of the world. So I suppose as far as environments go, this would maybe represent to me that that the world is relatively peaceful as far as the environment goes. I feel like we're not experiencing like a lot of natural disasters. Of course, it's kind of difficult because like flooding is a natural disaster, but it's also like important for agriculture in some settings, I guess. I kind of want to say that the environment here is peaceful. Something that I did grab onto from that description is that like there could be like chaos kind of swirling around the borders. Like this is the eye of the storm. So maybe on the horizon there are some dark clouds gathering. Maybe people know that something is coming. And that could be like, you know, climate change. Or it could be something like an ice age, maybe. I don't know. Do you guys have any good ideas of what kind of weather catastrophes might be on the horizon? Tornado's good, but I think it needs to be something bigger. Maybe like there is like it needs to be something that is like more existentially threatening, I would say. Oh. Okay, so tsunamis is interesting. Like maybe there is like a meteor storm that's coming, and like because that makes me think that, like, like it's something. It has to be something that people know is coming. I mean, if we want to like build some narrative tension around it, there has to be like something that is going to be a major threat to civilization, or to this part of civilization, wherever this takes place. But it has to be something. Because I think something we could do is, okay, yeah, a volcano is good. So something that we could use is that people are looking for a way to calm this volcano. So that could be something that is driving the quests that people are going on. There could possibly be some sort of, relic. Okay, yeah, I think an upcoming war is good. I guess talking about an army, let's move on to the Ace of Pentacles, which is going to represent it's going to tell us something about the people in this world. So the Ace of Pentacles. So we've got a heavenly hand holding a pentacle or coin above what looks to be a garden with a little trellis. The sky looks a little gloomy, maybe, I would say. So the Ace of Pentacles represents material force, prosperity, practicality, or trust. Oh, so actually, I need to make some notes on these, because these actually need to be set aside. I don't think I can do that with the generator, but and tell me if you have trouble reading what I type. Let me know. So for the environment, we have the temperance. And I want to say, like, we're in a stable place right now, but there's a apparent crisis on the horizon. Okay, and for the people, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles is about material force, prosperity, practicality, and trust. The Ace of Pentacles is a symbol of possibility in the area of prosperity, abundance, trust, security, and groundedness. In readings, it shows that a seed of productivity has been planted in your life, although you may not recognize it. When the seed sprouts, it could take almost any form. It might be a feeling of centeredness, desire for results, or need to focus on practical matters. On the outside, it could be an offer, gift, opportunity, encounter, or synchronistic event. When you see this ace, examine your life to see how its solid energy could work for you. Now is not the time for fantasy, drama, or daring. It is a time to be real and centered. Seek out comfortable, reliable experiences that make you feel secure. Build a foundation of trust in your life, both within and without. Your common sense will tell you what to do. Focus on the natural world to help you stay grounded. Enjoy your body and all the joys of material existence. The Ace of Pentacles can be a sign that you will be able to make your dreams real. Your ideas are ready to be turned into something tangible. Figure out what will work and make it a reality. You can now attract all the wealth you need to get your projects going. Tap into the material force of the Ace of Pentacles, and all your enterprises will flourish. So I don't know about you guys, but to me, I guess together, these cards kind of speak of a golden age that this world is in, and that is being threatened. Like there are just signs on the outside of Wiley's being talkative right now. Meow. Meow to you, sir. But the land is temperate right now, but maybe we can see some maybe we can see some things on the outside that are threatening us. But right now we're in the eye. When I think of like eye of the storm, as far as environment goes, like that says that like the environment is in a good place right now, even if we can see threats. And the people with the Ace of Pentacles they're prospering, they're self-actualized, they are they're on the verge of being able to make their dreams real. So I think altogether, yeah, so Ace of Pentacles, the people are happy and prosperous. Yeah, so that tells me that I think the threat is going to come from the environment. I think like something like a volcano I think works really well, because they can see that it's gathering, it's gathering steam. Maybe there are like some, okay, yeah, definitely like megafauna could be, yeah, this could be like a Godzilla situation. I guess just because I have been rereading Lord of the Rings recently, that reminds me of like the Mines of Moria, like a prosperous, advanced civilization that they dug too deep, they reached too far, and they awakened something that ultimately destroyed them. Hopefully this place isn't ultimately destroyed, but I don't know that that's going to be within the scope of the game I'm playing tonight. But I like that. So the prompt for this that I need to come up with a journal entry for is what is it like to live in your world? So I want to write this in like a narrative voice. So what's something, what's like a situation that I could write like, you know, a short paragraph about that would kind of help to illustrate the kind of world that we're talking about. I want to express both the optimism and the I think this world is good. So I want to express the goodness of the world, but I also want to hint that there is a threat that people know is coming. Okay. This Fairland lived in balance and harmony until let's see here. The Fire Nation attacked. Let's see here. Let's start with something like more let's hear it. They say on the news that there were more tremors in what's a name for a good what's a good name for a city? I want to say like, I guess I could say like the capital. It just feels like a thing that actual people don't say. Like, I guess we do refer to Washington D.C. as like the capital sometimes. Yeah. Let's not worry about getting too. Yeah. And I also don't know if that's right, I should have a random name generator up. Let's see here. Donjon.bin.sh. New Wiley City. General. No. Doop-a-doop-doo. Fantasy World Random. Doop-a-doop-doo. His name. Fantasy World. Engine. Town. No, this is. Saint is good. Saint Uh, calling a town saint something is good because it implies something about their religious structure. How about Saint Wiley? That's a good one. Saint Dipshit, yes. Yeah, let's go with Saint Wiley. They say on the news that there were more tremors in Saint Wiley. Luckily, the authorities there were able to evacuate the affected neighborhoods. I know that okay, so the next question I have is what sort of governmental structure do we want to say that they have? So what I want to say next is that like the people there are going to be taken care of, and if we go with like a democracy or a bureaucracy or something like that, I want to say like like the Department of Social Services. Okay, oligarchy. Okay. So I kind of want. I think I want to do like urban fantasy, like not medieval fantasy, but I'm thinking like kind of like a like late 1800s, early 1900s vibe is kind of the picture I have in my head. So I do like a council. I suppose. Yes, I'm not going to try to make this a. I'm not going to try to make this a. Yeah, I'm not going to make it a utopia. But I do want to. If this is a. If this is a place I am positioning as good, I do want to avoid colonialism because colonialism isn't good. But anyways, I guess that's getting. I like the idea of like an oligarchic council that is interested in actually taking care of people. Yeah, well, so I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles that says that like the people here are in a stable position. Not that there's no state that doesn't need changes to be made, and I don't think there's any state that's going to make a there's no such thing as perfection. Everything can become more perfect. So But yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to be in like the middle of a civil war. And I do, if this place is prosperous and there's a lot of trust and people are in a good position, I do want to like position it that at least the government is trying to take care of people. Um, um, so I know that the uh, what's a good synonym for council? Chamber. Uh, Senate does imply like uh yeah, those kind of imply democracy um to some extent. I guess like the Roman Senate wasn't democratic, I don't think. Hmm. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about the Roman government during the Republic. Um how about the chamber? Um I know that the chamber will take care of the refugees. Um and that they'll be back in their homes soon. But still I worry about so maybe the impending doom is from within. Like maybe the chamber is slowly going mad, corrupt. And Chamber of Doom, they're actually very nice. The name is archaic and we can't get rid of it. So I think I want the impending doom to be coming from the outside, just because the cards are kind of clear about the stability of the people. And but it could also be something in whatever is happening in the environment, is that like whatever's happening in the environment is also starting to cause strife. Like that can be a sign of whatever's coming, is that where people would usually cooperate and where the government would try, maybe you're seeing like a little bit more graft. I think. Okay, I think it's extremely fair to say that like there are certainly people who will take advantage of natural disasters, as we're seeing now. Okay. So I know that the chamber will take care of the refugees and that they'll be back in their homes soon, but still I worry about. Okay, but. Oh yeah. The chamber is like all set. They've got like saunas and hot tubs. That's really why they built the chamber on the volcano. Just like they hold all of their They hold all of their council meetings in an onsen with capybaras. um, still uh, I can't help. Here we go. Here's what I want to say. Can't help but think about how awful it must be to have to evacuate. Okay, so that was that was a lot of time spent on stuff that's just background. That's okay. I think it's good to have a nice background for your story to be taking place against. Okay, so for the next step, we're going to create our character. So we'll draw 2 cards. The 10 of Wands and the 7 of Wands. The first signifies the nature of your powers. The second signifies the part of you outside of your powers. And then we'll narrate, who are you? Okay, so we have for what signifies the nature of our powers, we've got the 10 of Wands. We've got a guy who is gathering up these wands, and me absolutely twisted. So this looks to me like there's like labor. There's labor here. There's gathering. Let's see what the description says. 10 of Wands. Okay, so overextending, burdens, and struggle. On the 10 of Wands, we see a bent figure trying to carry 10 heavy poles. They are ranged so closely in front of him that he can't even see where he's going. Nothing exists for this man except his burdens and responsibilities. How true this is for so many today. We take on so much, trying to do all the things that need to be done. We think that if we can hang on until the weekend or vacation or end of the semester, then we can finally relax. The weekend comes and the overload continues. Okay, so then if this card is about the nature of their powers, nature of powers, 10 of Wands, strife, burden, overexertion. So this is actually, I think, a good opportunity to like say that to put in that, like, using healing, since our abilities are to heal and to ease people's burdens, this takes a lot out of them. Feel free to contribute any ideas around this, but what I'm thinking of is there's an original series Star Trek episode called where they meet an empath who can heal others' wounds by taking them on herself. Like she's able to like heal a burn that Kirk gets, but then it like appears on her skin, and I think it heals more quickly than it would have on him, but still she takes on, she doesn't just take away the pain, she she takes on the pain. And I like that idea. So it's so this power is burdensome, and we'll see if maybe maybe takes on the maybe physically and mentally takes on the wounds of others. I think this will actually end up, since this is a game about a healer, I think this will end up being a like really interesting thing for me to compare to my D&D character, who is also a cleric. And how will this person be different than him? I think that'll be interesting to see. So the part of the part of you outside your powers is represented by the Seven of Wands. It's kind of hard to interpret what's going on. He looks like he's in like a fighting pose here, and he's astride maybe a cliff. Kind of looks like a very large person who is astride. That's a good. So what fuels their powers? That's a good question. If we're saying like, so this is like an urban fantasy. I don't think I want to make them like a divine healer. I think I want to find something else. It could be that, you know, it's like other like magic in a lot of things. It's like a force that you have to learn how to manipulate. But maybe like the ways that you manipulate it are like whatever you get. However you can channel this force through you. Oh yeah, it could be. I don't know why I didn't think of like an Aleister Crowley-ish, although I don't think that Aleister Crowley would have really been in the business of healing people. Could be wrong. I don't know that much about him. But occultic stuff is good. Spiritualism, that's a good touchstone. Seances and automatic writing. Yeah, and I think like it's a very, and in this world, you know, interacting with spirits, like magic has a cost. Making a deal with these spirits has a cost, and you don't really get to set the terms of what the cost is. Um, but maybe this second card will help illuminate that a little bit. So the Seven of Wands. Aggression, defiance, and conviction. Okay, that could be interesting. The Seven of Wands is all about taking a stand. Taking a stand is a forceful act that changes the energy flow of the world for good or ill. Most of the time, we flow with our lives as if on a river. Events and feelings carry us forward with little effort. Sometimes, though, we are not content to drift. We want to resist the flow or change its course entirely. The figure on the Seven of Wands appears to be in battle. He's either attacking or under attack, probably both. When we decide to take a stand, we set in motion an energy of resistance. When we take up a firm position, others do the same. The Seven of Wands stands for aggression and defiance because they are two sides of the same coin. You attack, your opponent defends. He counterattacks, you defend. Some battles are worth fighting, others just cause trouble. If you are involved in a conflict, ask yourself if it's worth the struggle. Is it important? Does it have value? Will the outcome serve you or others? If so, be bold and aggressive. Defend your position. Refuse to yield. If not, then consider letting the conflict go. Be honest with yourself about this. You will be tempted to hold on to your position, especially if you have invested much time and energy into it. Don't let the battle lines be drawn unless the war is worth fighting. Seven of Wands can also indicate strong convictions. In order to take a firm stand, you must believe in your position and yourself. You'll need integrity and strength of character to see you through. If your cause is just, use the energy of the Seven of Wands to make a difference. I think that's really interesting. So we have someone who's we have someone who's defiant and resistant, who has deep convictions. What does he resist? What are they resisting, though? I think I might go with maybe he, they pronouns. Nature outside of powers. Seven of Wands. Resistance. Defiance. Conviction. Why are you saying that conviction is a... I can't spell check myself or else I'll be here forever. What are they resistant to? Fighting capitalism is always a good thing. So that's something. So that's something about the nature of society that he's identified as something that is outside of... It's something that the society is defining, like if it's a capitalist society, and I guess if we're doing like a Georgian era thing, then like robber barons and stuff is definitely like that's a good touchstone. So he's identified uh, the apparent prosperity as something uh, something that's caused by a bad cause. Um, and so if this is capitalism, it means that there's an underclass because you have to have a pool of cheap workers to sustain that mode of production. I like it. He could also be resistant to. Well, I was going to say he could be resistant to his own powers, but then why would he be employed in the way that they are? So that's probably not a great conflict. I like I like that. I like crap. Yeah, more like crapitalism. Am I right? And then the okay, so the oh. Good job. Good job on creating Bernie Sanders. Great job. So now the prompt for this is narrate who are you. Maybe instead of a journal entry, this could be a like letter of introduction that they present to people that they're trying to hire themselves out to. Okay, let's then we need a name. Let's see here. Where's the okay, sci-fi name generator, sci-fi world, no. Maybe weird fiction. No, weird name generator is not going to. Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, here we go. Male names from the Cthulhu mythos. That's a pretty good that's going to give us some good ones. Let's oh jeez. Let's pick from the ladies, the female names list. Fedora Brown. Fedora Brown. That might be too good to pass up. Thank you, Don John. Don John is an endless font of great names. Fedora Brown. I'm glad that created a strong reaction, for you. um okay, so Fedora Brown, he, they. um um what would he call himself, as far as an occupation? Let's say, how about Mystic Surgeon? Mystic Surgeon. Fedora Brown, Mystic Surgeon. Um, oh, so a Mystic Surgeon for hire. The good thing about, like, Victorian, Georgian era things is just making a extremely hyphenated phrases, which I'm always a big fan of. At your service. Have you need of have you need of a healer on your next adventure? Then good gentles, I must commend myself to you. The world is harsh, and I will stand against it with you. For a very modest sum. So how do I... And the thing that I need now is to... to find a way to weave his convictions into this. maybe he helps. Let's see. Maybe he's he has to make, so he needs to work to make money, or receive some sort of payment, and so I think that and I don't know that I'll be able to write this into this entry, but I think that they uh, use that money to help support some sort of communal living situation with like-minded individuals. I like that. Okay, but I'm going to stop there with that entry, and then we can move on to the next part of the game. Okay, so these 4 cards should be set aside where they can be seen at all times. I can't do that with this tarot card generator. Maybe next time I'll use Roll20 or something. So next, finding a party. Choose a party. Capital Lord. The dastardly Capital Law has withheld the medicine needed to heal the orphans displaced by the volcano. Okay, so do you guys have so next we need to choose the type of party. And we get to choose from a group of rookies, a group of veterans, a group of outcasts, a group of tourists, a well-equipped group, or an unprepared group. I'm leaning towards either a group of outcasts, a group of tourists, or an unprepared group. I do like the idea that to make ends meet, they are having to sell their services to they're having to sell their services to tourists who are going into this into this thing that everyone says, or it's definitely it's a tourist trap, sorta, like a tourist trap dungeon. That's sort of interesting, but then we would actually need to make the danger real somehow. Yeah. The tourists could be funny because they get into way more than what they signed up for. I like that idea. I also like the idea of leading a group of outcasts out into the wilderness. Maybe they are trying to found a new commune or something. They're or if this is a capitalist society, horrors of capitalism, colonialism, maybe a group of outcasts is a group of people who were torn away from their native lands, who are trying to get back. I think that's something that I would have to take some care with, that I'm not sure that would be a great idea. um, um, an unprepared group is fun for the same reason as the tourist group, that they could be getting into more than they signed up for. Okay. I think I like group of tourists. So, party is a group of tourists. So now we'll draw one card to signify what makes this party distinct. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords. So we've got a heavenly hand holding up a sword with a crown on the end, and there's some vegetation growing off the sword. And going to an interpretation. Okay, so the words that set this group of tourists apart are mental force, truth, justice, and fortitude. So by tourist, we could mean like a research expedition. I mean, that's not tourism, but let's go down to I'll read at least a little bit of the description and see what we can do with it. The Ace of Swords is a symbol of possibility in the area of intelligence, reason, justice, truth, clarity, and fortitude. In readings, it shows that a seed of clear understanding has been planted in your life, although you may not yet recognize it. When the seed sprouts, it could take almost any form. It might be a compelling idea, desire for the truth, call to justice, or a need to be honest. On the outside, it could be an offer, gift, opportunity, encounter, or synchronistic event. Sometimes, this ace stands for a challenge that will test you in some way. Life never goes smoothly for long. Sooner or later, a hurdle shows up, and the Ace of Swords can tell you when one is coming. This card is also a reminder to you to face your challenge, whatever it is, with courage, honesty, and a firm resolve. In every challenge, there is opportunity. When you see the Ace of Swords, examine your life to see how its clean, sharp energy could work for you. Think about your problem objectively. Look for situations that are unjust or confusing and resolve to set them right. Above all else, commit to being honest and ethical. This card tells you that that you do have the inner resources to overcome all obstacles and find the truth of your situation. This is the promise of the Ace of Swords. Okay, so we have a group of tourists who so some possible motivations we have for them are for intelligence or reason, justice, truth, clarity. So a couple of directions I can see this going. It could be a research expedition who's like maybe looking for something, an animal out in the wilderness. It could be maybe a group of investigators who are looking into some injustice that's been done to someone. I don't know. Do you guys like one more than the other? because I'm torn. I'm wide awake and I can see the perfect sky is torn. Ace of Swords. So, intelligence, reason, justice, truth, clarity, fortitude. Okay, I'm going to say, executive decision style, that this is a group of researchers. A group of researchers who are investigating reports of odd and unknown creatures in the area. How does that sound? Okay, so next, for each member of the party, between 2 and 4, draw one card to signify their role. Use its suit to determine the type of role. Okay, so person 1. Okay, so if they get the King of Cups, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Cake sounds very good. Welcome back. So I decided that our group of tourists is actually a group of researchers who are investigating reports of odd and unknown creatures in the area. And now we're determining the members of the party. I'm gonna say 2, just because I have about an hour before I need to wrap up, and I want to make sure I actually get through a dungeon. God, speaking of snacks, I had dango tonight that my roommate brought back, and it was really good. It was it had like a red bean paste on it. Ooh, hot dogs. I will never say no to a hot dog. Yeah, so all I had was all I had for dinner was like a fruit bowl. I got these like acai berry and other various fruit bowls that has a little granola. Ooh. Look at you, Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog, with your chili dogs. Okay, so this first person is the King of Cups. And the cups the cups suit indicates that they are a religious figure. So first person, King of Cups, which means that they are a religious figure. Since they're the King of Cups, since they're the King of Cups, I want to say that they're high up, so I guess I want to stay away from, or I don't necessarily want to do like bishops and stuff. So let's call her a magister. And we'll say that it's like a fairly high up official in whatever church she is from. Let's come up with a name for her. I'm going back to yeah, I think I'm going to go with Magister just because it's a little more fantasy-ish. Maybe this world has some kind of like magocracy where like very, very powerful magic users control the churches. That makes sense. So let's say I guess let's see here. I could go the even fancier route, and since she is a woman, let's say Magistrix, because I do love adding that like old-timey TRIX feminine ending. It also makes this word look like a complete nightmare, and I love it. Let's say Cora. Davenport. She is a Davenport's a sofa, right? She, her. Okay. Dragon Straight. Person. I think I'm just gonna make this a two-person party that we're accompanying. Oh, okay. This is. So the major arcana represents an advanced class. Okay, so an advanced class. Okay, these people are very high up, so in whatever organization they are. I kind of wonder what advanced class could mean in this world. Because it could mean that let's hear. If this is like a research expedition, it makes sense if this person is some sort of scientist. So justice. Okay, and something related to justice, maybe. Well, there probably needs to be some sort. If they're investigating unknown creatures, it needs to be some sort of person who knows about animals. So, let's hear. Doctor is an advanced class that that requires a. I would say that PhD is prestige class. Yeah. Okay, and let's get some. Let's make this guy a guy. Dr. Phineas. Phineas M. Ooh, that's good. Strangworth. PhD. I'm just gonna put some official sounding letters after his name so that we know that he's an advanced class. C. I'm definitely gonna put Bofa. Oh my gosh. C. CPO. Bofa. I imagine that like Bofa is kind of like OBE. Like it indicates he's part of some sort of like knightly order that's mostly bullshit, but I like that. I guess we don't usually do it now, but PH. Oh, now I'm blanking. There. No. Actually, PhD should not have. Let's get rid of those unnecessary periods. Okay, so we have our party. A phony diploma. Incredible. This guy could be just like a scientific swindler. That would also be kind of fun. Oh my gosh, I used to love the Beetlejuice cartoon when I was a kid, and it was on Nickelodeon, I think. That's where I remember watching it. Okay, so how do they treat you? I think the answer to that question is not very well. These sound like two very stuck up people, and no matter how good fedora is. I don't think that they respect them all that much because they are just a common cell suture. oh, I like. Oh, calling a healer for hire a cell suture. I like that. Um, a cell suture. I have to get my punctuation marks right. By all the gods, no, by all the spirits in all the hells, I've never had clients so rude. If it weren't for the fact that they're here to investigate those damned sightings, I'd have half a mind to leave them out in the forest. I've never been so damned insulted. Just like the powerful, to sneer at the person who's going to keep them alive. I like that. Okay, so now the party will take on a dungeon. Set the party's cards where they can easily be easily seen. Well, that is my deck, or that's my journal that I'm keeping. Go to the dungeon section and return here when the dungeon is complete. Okay, so we're supposed to lay the cards for the dungeon in a row as we draw. Let's choose the dungeon's location. Since I already mentioned the forest, I'm just going to say it's in the forest. So then we're going to draw a card to signify what makes it distinct. The Page of Swords. So we have a nice young youth who is holding a sword, looking very fancy. We're getting a lot of swords and wands tonight. The page. Okay, so the keywords here are use your mind, be truthful, be just, and have fortitude. The Page of Swords is a messenger bringing you challenges. He suggests that an opportunity for growth may come your way in the guise of a problem or dilemma. These challenges may not be your favorites. In fact, you probably will want to say, thanks but no thanks. Ooh, beer and popcorn. Always good. The Page of Swords asks you to embrace these difficult situations. Think of them as trials designed to test your mettle. If you accept and prevail, you will become stronger and more resilient. In meeting these challenges, you are encouraged to use the tools of the sword's suit: honest, reason, integrity, and fortitude. The Page of Swords can also stand for a child or young at heart adult whose interactions with you involve truthfulness, ethical behavior, discouragement, or matters of the mind. Oh, yes. I wish I had been smart and bought some beer at the store this afternoon. But I was not smart, friends. I was not smart at all. Okay, so I think this actually so the dungeon is in the forest, and it's represented by the Page of Swords, which it represents. Page represents a messenger bringing you unpleasant challenges. Or trials designed to test your mettle. Okay. So actually that gives me a pretty good idea, actually, of maybe these seismic events have opened up some sort of ruin out in the forest. So what we need to narrate is, how do you know you're at the dungeon? I want to say this is like we've been following the fourth day of following what I've dubbed the okay, so what's something that would be terrifying if you combined it with a moose? Something the size and general shape of a moose. Ooh, okay, goose and badger. Oh no, I don't want to think about a spider that big. And moosey. God, goose and badger are both so good because, like, the thing that sucks about them is, like, kind of the same thing, just that they're very aggro. I want to say, okay, we've been following. I want to say goose moose because I want to say goose moose. Fourth day of following what I've dubbed the goose moose. But Dr. Strangworth. yeah, we had it. We had it, but that goose moose got loose. And then I spilled my juice. That's the worst part of it. but Dr. Strangworth refuses to call it that. We've come upon a fissure that seems to have opened recently, and we have found what seem to be the remains of an ancient ruin. The glyphs look like warnings to me, but Magistrix Davenport says we must push on to follow the abomination as she so indelicately calls it. I like Fedora has a little bit of whimsy to them. I like that. Okay. So now we need to choose the party's goal. And the list here is slay a monster, find an artifact, recover knowledge, foil the enemy, discovery, or escort someone. I'm going to say that the I'm gonna say discovery. It's also maybe a little bit of recover knowledge, but I think discovery works well. Okay, then we need to draw one card to signify what makes it dangerous. The Fool. Oh, that'll be interesting. Moose Loot. The my first piece of merch when I start making merch for this channel, which is the thing that's definitely going to happen, is it's definitely going to be the Goose Moose loot box. Okay, so the Fool represents beginning, spontaneity, faith, and apparent folly. Because of the moose badger thing of Eldritch Horror. Oh. Yeah, we've got to get to finishing a game of Eldritch Horror sometime. Okay, so the Fool. As card 0, the Fool lies at the beginning of the major arcana, but also somewhat apart from the other cards. In medieval courts, the court jester was someone who was not expected to follow the same rules as others. He could observe and then poke fun. This makes the Fool unpredictable and full of surprises. He reminds us the unlimited potential and spontaneity inherent in every moment. There is a sense with this card that anything goes. Nothing is certain or regular. The Fool adds the new and unfamiliar to a situation. Okay. How do you guys like this idea? So the Fool represents unpredictability. It's full of surprises. Anything goes. So what if this is like like an MC Escher type dungeon? Like, you never know what orientation the next room is going to be in. It's incredibly easy to get lost in here. It's a complete like mind trip, because like, you know, you'll be walking through you'll like walk through a door, and yeah, so like sometimes you'll like walk, like, you know, you'll take a step and then you'll like turn 90 degrees, like you'll be like, yeah, boom, and then you'll be walking down. Yes, yeah, sometimes you'll go through a door, and like you'll come out another door that's like clearly not in the place you were going to. I like it. So let's see here. What makes it dangerous? The Fool. Space. So here, the normal perceptions of space hold little meaning here. MC Escher-esque place. Okay, then we need to narrate. What have you heard about your goal? Okay, so this is a good place to talk about a little bit about what's been going on with these creatures. No one's been harmed by any of these creatures yet. At least not physically. I heard that some young lass was frightened so terribly by I want to say spider monkey, but also like basically like, no, not that type of spider monkey, a much more literal kind, by a spider monkey. No, not the kind your spider. Okay, but how about this? A spider bitten by a radioactive monkey. No, not the kind you're thinking of. A much more literal and horrifying thing. That. Let's see what's okay. We are at 10 o'clock. I've got about half an hour before I have to get off, so I think we can get through it by then. We'll just make this a small dungeon. So terribly by a spider monkey that she couldn't be woken from her faint for nigh on 3 days. No one knows where these beasts are coming from, as naught of their like has ever been seen before. Okay, so now we get to the dungeon. So we'll draw. It says to draw between 2 and 6 cards, based on the size of the dungeon. 2 is small, 6 is massive. Each card will signify an encounter with type given by its suit. Swords will be combat. Wands will be traps. Pentacles will be treasure. Cups will be difficult terrain. The major arcana will be arrest. And for each card, we will narrate what danger presents itself. What do you learn? So, first encounter, and we're just going to go with 2 encounters. The Hierophant. Oh, we start with arrest. That's funny. But we can turn this into a challenge as well. So the Hierophant represents education, belief systems, conformity, and group identification. Except in rare cases, every human grows and develops within a culture. We learn by living with others. The Hierophant represents such official learning, especially in groups. A Hierophant is someone who interprets secret knowledge. We see a religious figure in formal church setting. He is wearing the elaborate vestments of the office. His task is to bring the 2 initiates into the church so they can take up their appointed roles. Okay. Okay, so we have the Hierophant. And we're taking a rest. Yeah, he's I guess that's I believe supposed to be the papal tiara. Like the Hierophant is also called the Pope in some other decks. And I can't remember if it's the Hierophant or the High Priestess where the pillars have some symbolism, but I don't know. So this has to do with teaching. So I think what they find that makes them take a rest is they find rune. So I was thinking that they find runes on the wall, language, and the doctor says that he wants to take time to interpret them. Um, oh, also, so Sphinx, riddle is, having a riddle is a good idea. This could also be a little Lord of the Ringsy. Um, but I think the thing that makes this difficult, um, so there's no clear way through. Um, there's no clear way through, and uh, there is a stone figure that looks like a sphinx that is perched in the room. It has its mouth open, looking like it's ready to receive something. And around the room, there are little like stone discs that have different writings on them. And the wall is just covered with writings. The professor says, like, this is clearly some sort of lock to keep out people who weren't supposed to be here. The doctor and the magistrix, they cast a spell to help them understand the words. And between casting the spell, gathering information, looking at it, this is a rest period of about a day. And something that makes this difficult is that as they're doing the interpretations, the magistrix finds that what's written here goes against, like, this is what's written here is blasphemous to the church. Not just like these people were like a sect of this church that was purged because of a difference that we would think of as minor today, but this is like something, some belief system is represented here that is just considered completely anathema to the church. So she's the magistrix is horrified, but also interested, because this is something that, it's an outright challenge to what this religion stands for. So she's horrified, but she's also like interested, because this is not any sort of knowledge that she has ever heard, and she's fairly high up in the church. So this represents both a challenge and a oh, I'm horrified, but also interested. So she has to. So part of it is fighting with herself. The difficult thing is she has to fight with between her own disgust and her own interest, and that makes it take longer. So, what danger presents itself? What do you learn? So we've come across, we've been unable to even pass through the entrance hall. There's so much bloody riding here that the Magistrix and the oh hey, it kept and the professor have to interpret that I may have to ask for a larger fee for all the boredom I'm fighting. The Magistrix has made almost non-stop complaints about the matter of the Magistrix has made almost non-stop complaints about the matter of what they're interpreting. Says that it's lies of the foulest manner. The good professor and I have tried to encourage her to keep her fortitude. Okay. So yes, I think that the danger is to in this area is to Fedora's feeling of engagement and to the I think the Magistrix feels herself in some sort of feels that her soul or whatever they believe in is in some sort of danger from knowing this. Actually that's something I could put in. She persists, but she says she worries that this knowledge will put her in danger. Let's say immoral danger. Okay, so then for our second, the Hanged Man. Okay, this is also, the Hanged Man is also about knowledge. That means it's also a rest. So we have two rests. That's definitely not what I was expecting, and poor Fedora hasn't even had to use his powers yet. So the Hangman stands for letting go, reversal, suspension, and sacrifice. The Hanged Man The Hanged Man is one of the most mysterious cards in the tarot deck. It is simple but complex. It attracts but also disturbs. It contradicts itself in countless ways. The Hanged Man is unsettling because it symbolizes the action of paradox in our lives. A paradox is something that appears contradictory and yet is true. The Hanged Man presents to us certain truths, but they are hidden in their opposites. The main lesson of the Hanged Man is that we control by letting go. We win by surrendering. The figure has made the ultimate surrender, to die on the cross of his own travails. Yet he shines with the glory of divine understanding. He has sacrificed himself, but he emerges the victor. The Hanged Man also tells us that we can move forward by standing still. By suspending time, we can have all the time in the world. By suspending time, we can have all the time in the world. That's interesting. What if this is like a let's interpret a rest generously here, so that I can put a little more danger in this. What if the sleep spell is exactly what I was thinking. More specifically, I was thinking about the Field of Poppies from no. Okay. Looks like I just dipped a little bit in my bit rate, but okay. Looks like I'm back to being good. Yeah, I was thinking about the Field of Poppies from The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. So I like that. And maybe this is good. Maybe this is something that our healer can help with. Perhaps they can fortify the rest of the party against sleep, but I think the cost is that it's going to put them out of commission for a little while making it through while making their way through. So I think I'll write this. So the second encounter is the Hangman. So I'll start this after Fedora reawakens from the spell. They say I was out for a good 3 hours. Let's say a good 3 hours. They complained a bit about having to carry me. But they do seem grateful that I was there to shield them from the sleep spell. What do you guys think was the mechanism by which this like sleeping spell was brought on? I don't just want to say a field of poppies, although I do like vegetation inside of a ruin. What about moths that shake their powder around and like as they fly they spread like a sleep powder, which is basically what Butterfree does in Pokemon, isn't it? That's fine. Yeah. Those damned moths came out of nowhere. And spread that cursed dust. It was only by the seat of my pants that I was able to Oh, giant moths. So it was only by the seat of my pants that I was able to take away their weariness before I passed out from my own. But that yeah, we should play Microscope during some game night. Harrison and Blem. It's a game that is it's for world building that lets you kind of like zoom in and out of like different parts of a world's history. It's a really fun and interesting game. But that apparently bought them enough time to clear the bleeders out. Okay. Okay, then really quickly we need to face the final encounter. And I'll pull out 2 cards to signify the Everybody loves Mothman. Wow, both majors again. Okay, okay, well this is just a maybe a peaceful, a very peaceful thing, a thing that is much more peaceful than I thought it was going to be. At least this adventure. I can't speak to the broader world. Sounds like there might be some trouble there. And I'm just going to very quickly find a way to synthesize these 2 cards. The Chariot, the King of Cups. Okay, so the Chariot. Okay, the Chariot represents victory, will, self-assertion, and hard control. Picture Julius Caesar riding his chariot triumphantly into Rome. He has defeated his enemies and conquered vast new lands. This is the spirit of the Chariot. It represents the victories that are possible through willpower and self-mastery. A military image is appropriate for the Chariot because this card stands for the strengths associated with combat, discipline, grit, determination, and assertiveness. Okay. And then the King of Cups. is wise, calm, diplomatic, caring, and tolerant. The personality of the King of Cups is a combination of the positive water energy of the cup suit and the active outward focus of a king. He is wise and understanding, with a deep knowledge of the world that comes from the heart. He is a teacher and a way shower who guides his students with loving attention. He cares about others sincerely, and he always responds to their needs with compassion. Okay. So this is actually, I think, a really... I think this will be a really nice ending. Because I think they finally get to the central... they finally get to the central chamber, and they see the goose moose there. They see a spider monkey. They see a bunch of strange and creatures, wonderful creatures, terrible creatures. But there's no attacking. Like the animals they're not aggressive. They seem to be, all these animals. Okay, sorry, let me read this. Okay, hear me out. The Chariot Dysmorphic translation, where a flaming wheel of spikes and a black skull in the center comes screaming at you. That's... I am a big fan of a screaming skull. So the but the animals here are living in peace with each other. And the questions we need to answer when we narrate this are, what did you face and what was the outcome? How did you prove yourself either indispensable or superfluous? So I think oh, okay. What if there's a great beast there. It's chimeric. It's something that, like, if I saw, I would think it was horrifying. But like, it's not aggressive, and it's not like none of the beasts around it are aggressive. But what if it's hurt? What if the king of all these monsters, or all of these creatures, is injured, and Fedora can help here, and prove themselves to these two, very high up scholars and academics, that just with a little bit of compassion, and taking on the hurt of others, that he can help. That he truly is a very useful healer. But what's the outcome of all of this? Is this, like, does this allow them to open up some sort of dialogue with maybe not dialogue, and so I don't think that these creatures are intelligent in the same way that the human population here is intelligent, but I think it helps foster some sort of understanding that these aren't monsters to be dealt with. They're animals to be understood, and with just by showing each other a little bit of compassion, we can overcome that fear of the unknown. I think that makes for a good ending. So let me come up with a few lines to narrate that. And honestly, that's a lesson I wish that the Victorians and the Georgians would have learned, because it might have, if they would have interacted with cultures they don't understand, with some compassion, maybe things would have turned out better. The great beast in the central chamber had been grievously wounded. I took on its wound, and I can tell you that it was in awful pain. In tremendous pain is a good. Took on its wounds, and I can tell that it was in tremendous pain. The Magistrix and the Professor say that they much admire my bravery in being able to approach the thing. But it wasn't bravery. I merely saw a wounded creature, wounded in much the same way that countless people I've healed were wounded. the hurt it was feeling may have been especially painful, but with me to help share it for a bit, I think the creatures of this place will I think that the creatures of this place no, that's I believe it will recover. Perhaps instead of viewing these creatures as monsters that threaten us, we should view them as fellow gotta put a real nice little cap on this. Fellow I know that I've used creature a ton in this entry, but as fellow beings to be respected. Okay. So if you... So then we would shuffle back the dungeon cards. If you would like to stay with this party, start a different dungeon. If you'd like to find a different party, shuffle the party cards into the deck and return to finding a party. If you'd like to retire from adventuring, draw as many cards as you need. Your story or this part of it is over. What has changed about you? What hasn't? Okay, I'll do this part really quick. At least for now, because I'm ending the session, Fedora is going to retire from adventuring. So let's draw 3 cards and see if we can get a nice little idea of the 9 of I'm just going to draw from the visuals on these. So the 9 of Cups, I see prosperity, I think. I think I would say, let me at least look at the keywords, because I'm bad at interpreting things. Wish fulfillment, satisfaction, sensual pleasure. Yowza. The 3 of Swords is heartbreak, heartbreak, loneliness, and betrayal. That doesn't sound good. And the 2 of Pentacles, juggling, flexibility, and fun. Okay. Well, what if, so what sort of betrayal? So what are wishes that could be fulfilled for Fedora? We know that, like, they are opposed to the capitalistic society. So So I think maybe what if the Magistrix and the professor just abandon uh abandon Fedora here. While Fedora is getting to know these creatures, they just sneak away. And I don't know, maybe that pretends, maybe that is like a portent of bad things to come here. But I think that's a story for another time, maybe. Um, but I think maybe Fedora, like here, like this is a group of creatures who live together. Well, they take care of each other. This is a sort of a community. And I think that's what he's been looking for. So that's a wish to be fulfilled. And so maybe he is able to go back and to the place where he lives, to the town, and he's still able to, so he's able to juggle his responsibilities of caring for the people that he cares for back in town, but maybe he also comes back to this place. And here they find a sense of community that, I mean, this is another community. They're trying to build a community in town, and they found a community here, and so they're juggling these two things. I like that.